Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jolene Mujica, the head of Trends and Tours at Windowswear. Welcome to Windowswear Live. We're going to take a look at some of our retail news for the week. So let's get started with something that's becoming quite the topic lately. Luxury fashion brands, which are joining the NFT party, right? So the road to NFT, or non-fungible token riches, is paved with question marks for lots of luxury fashion brands. NFTs, of course, being cryptocurrency, right? And non-fungible tokens are all the rage, but for luxury brands, they pose all kinds of questions in abundance, right? Will the crypto wealthy, who are mostly young and male, be interested in luxury fashion NFTs? And what would they look like? And what would buyers get? Would they get any utility from them, right? Would the brand be smart to undertake this? And will the complexity of setting up cryptocurrency wallets be too much of a bother for some luxury consumers? Well, each new day brings another sort of breathless story on NFT record sales. The luxury fashion world has remained relatively quiet, but that's about to change. Fashion brands have been studying the wild, wacky world of blockchain and all its creative and business possibilities for some time now, and they are ready to sort of jump in. Most recently, Gucci confirmed to Vogue Business that it's only a matter of time before Gucci will release an NFT. In addition, they've confirmed with multiple industry sources that a number of fashion houses are close to releasing NFTs. The question is just who will pull the trigger first, right? Luxury brands were behind on the e-commerce trend, and there's more of a willingness to experiment with new technologies like blockchain. In recent months, every single fashion person that has been spoken to has been asked about what they can do in the NFT space. Anything digital, from art to music to fashion, can be turned into a unique NFT with its ownership recorded on a digital ledger or a blockchain. Proponents say that NFTs are the next evolution of digital fashion skins, which have already been embraced by certain luxury brands. And they claim that NFT scarcity and ability to accrue value can bring digital fashion closer to real fashion. Now, the race to create certain brands are already sort of racing to create their NFTs. Net-a-Porter is one of them. So NFTs NFT use cases are currently sort of in their infancy, especially in the fashion industry. And right now, fashion is being sold via NFT, and it's usually fashion as art, not necessarily fashion as utility. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where there's more utility, but we're simply not there yet. And that means that brands can currently sell NFTs that are, say, gigs of clothing pieces, right? Or gifts of clothing pieces, but buyers can't actually do much with them besides admire the gifs, right? And in the current fashion NFT user experience, it lacks the polish that's expected by luxury fashion buyers. Now, the fashion NFTs are on a virtual game as well called Decentraland, and are a part of a world of luxury. Players can inhabit avatars and they can buy fashion NFTs in their marketplace. A recent stroll through the marketplace revealed an odd mix of sneakers, hoodies, gag costumes branded with Atari or the names of popular cryptocurrency exchanges like Kraken and Binance. The outfits are cartoonish and pixelated, while the game itself is a jarring user experience. And what's more, the hassle of setting up a browser-based wallet is unlikely to appeal to luxury fashion shoppers. However, all that is poised to change in the coming months as companies start to compete to make NFT fashion experiences premium, clean, and beautiful. Think Net-a-Porter rather than Amazon, for instance. Now, fashion NFTs as digital collectibles is also becoming very big in the world of cryptocurrency. And while big luxury brands are taking their time to get it right, many small brands and retailers have already jumped into the NFT game in various creative ways and are selling fashion NFTs on marketplaces like OpenSea, Nifty Gateway, and Known Origin. Now, the most straightforward example of a fashion NFT is where the NFT is the digital twin of a real life garment. For Clothia, an online retailer in the accessible luxury space, they're currently auctioning NFT dresses. The winning bidders will receive the corresponding real life dresses, and both the NFTs and the physical garments are one of a kind. NFTs could be similar to how fashion brands see a bridge or diffusion lines. Just like how a Chanel lipstick is more accessible to customers than a Chanel handbag, luxury brands can use NFTs to give more consumers access to their brand. An example of this would be Gucci's $12 digital sneakers that they launched. Now, I wouldn't want to encourage brands to simply copy their physical items, but I would encourage them to go beyond their physical reality. For instance, if you design a shoe that is a flaming shoe, you can get all kinds of digital couture looks that could never exist before in real life. Now, Fabricants recently ran a 3D fashion design competition in collaboration with Adidas and Karlie Kloss's nonprofit Code by Klossy. The top 20 submissions were then auctioned as NFTs. They were also on display in galleries in Decentraland, where visitors inhabiting avatars could view the artwork and virtually bid on their designs. Now, the winning design netted 1.4 ETH, about $2,400 at current exchange rates, and proceeds from the auction went directly to featured artists, while voluntary contributions supported new events and programming for Code by Klossy's alumni community of more than 5,000 scholars. Yet another option for brands is to use NFTs as an opportunity to experiment beyond fashion. Reinc, which is a direct-to-consumer brand founded by 4 American female soccer stars, including Megan Rapinoe, made its name selling streetwear, but now it's launching a set of NFTs that are GIFs of digital playing cards featuring each of the soccer stars. Jenny Wang, a co-founder of Reinc, says the brand will be buying carbon offsets with some of the profits, responding to criticism that NFTs are bad for the environment. The environment concerns are expected to dissipate in the coming months, and they are now transitioning to a new proof of stake consensus protocol that will dramatically lower carbon emissions. As we move into a more immersive web, every fashion brand and retailer will need to have a virtual and visual strategy. Selling virtual dresses and assets can be a significant revenue stream for brands. And yes, it is the wave of the future, and it's looking quite bright. So let's move on over, take a look at some hair care. So what is going on in the world of beauty? Hair care is considered beauty's new booming category. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. So never mind sort of premium skincare. From Opalex to Uribe, luxury hair care brands are now enjoying exceptional sales growth, a trend likely to outlast the COVID-19 lockdowns. When London hair salon owners welcomed their clients back after the UK's first and second lockdowns, they were surprised by the condition of some of their clients' hair. While some came back with hair completely bleached from home dyes, others came back with beautiful, shiny, and very healthy hair. Over lockdown, many of their clients had invested in hair masks, oils, and high-grade shampoos, conditioners to hone their hair care routines. Now, global hair care sales showed resilience throughout 2020. Alongside things like toiletries, which include plenty of hand sanitizers and soaps, hair care was one of 2 beauty categories that showed exponential growth. Hair care sales were up 3%, while skincare stagnated and color cosmetics and fragrances steadily declined. Another fast mover during the pandemic is a luxury hair care brand, Uribe, which launched originally in 2008, targeting the discerning beauty consumer who understands performance is the definition of luxury. When they launched, most hair care brands and most directors of sales came from licensed hair salons, professional distribution channels, or big box chain retailers. And there wasn't really a concentration of hair at the luxury and specialty level. However, there's been a big shift in the multi-step beauty regimen with hair just as much as there is with skincare. And they've been able to focus on crafting more of that regimen and that experience at home. Now, researchers from trend intelligence platform Spate identified a spike during the pandemic of concerns around hair loss, hair thinning, and particularly hair damage. In response, luxury hair care brands have stepped up their focus on science-backed products and consumer educational initiatives. Some brands are emulating the multi-step approach popularized in skincare. Olaplex products are numbered 0 through 8, and 1 and 2 treatments only available in hair salons. When you have a tight assortment and they're not overlapping, people tend to be very open to buying a whole regimen. Now, the shift beyond the salon is gathering pace. Devines is a sustainable luxury hair care brand based in Italy that has always been salon-led. After the lockdown, it became very clear that consumers wanted to get access to products at home, and that is why they started to partner with e-tailers and salon chains, and they have their own set of web shops. Here is their products right here. Devine also produces skincare products, which has helped as consumers have developed their regimens. A skincare customer and the hair care customer are oftentimes the same person. They're very much focused on the sustainability of the project or the product, but they also want very high performance because we're a high-end luxury brand. Luxury is going to be more prevalent in 2021, according to Devines. Now, Uribe took lessons from the anti-aging philosophy of skincare for the marketing of their Gold Lust line, which is their #1 product line. When they explain what the product can do, they found that there's a huge adoption rate and the products really perform well. With prestige hair care booming, it's expected to outlast the pandemic, but it does not pose a threat to salons, however. Most brands can agree. Now that we've seen results, home hair care is part of a client's routine, even as they start to return to salons. A further 8,000 appointments have since been booked in the UK since they're coming out of their most previous lockdown this April. Now, it's a little bit like exercise. When people exercise and they feel or see a payoff, it's very difficult to break the habit. People can return to the salon with healthy hair that is not compromised, so stylists can color or style their hair better. It all forms part of the regimen. Pandora's box is open. And indeed, the growth of premium hair care products may still be in its early days, but one of the top retailers reported that only 8% of their skincare customers are penetrating into hair care. Currently, the runway for growth is extremely tremendous. Let's move on over to take a look at what's going on with Jacquemus, who has opened a branded pop-up with a Paris flower shop. So for a week this spring, a corner spot of Paris's 18th district was transformed into the pop-up flower shop Fleur. The building, which is painted in an unmissable cobalt blue with bright yellow sun overhead, is punctuated by wide windows which serve as perfect viewpoints for the blossoming bouquets. They utilized ordinary tools in flower delivery such as carts, plastic blue buckets, metal shelving, to dress the small interior. They really wanted to share something other than clothing during this particular period, commenting on the difficulty of the COVID-19 epidemic. Now, everyday objects become objects of beauty in their world at the brand's flower shop. That ethos was very clear when they decided to create it. By using unpretentious objects that form the basis of their store design, the team effectively created an activation simultaneously brand authentic and non-intrusive to the neighborhood's atmosphere. To develop a place to inspire moments of sharing and exchanging, reflecting a special mindfulness to the community and to the times. And the result being there was a spot able to present itself as a local staple rather than a gimmicky attraction. So let's go ahead and take a look at just how charming the pop-up is. All right, let's move on over to our last story of the day, which is how China's department stores are continuing to thrive despite the past year and a half, and despite um, what we would what we would think contrary to, what's been going on with the pandemic. And despite the least bankable retail typology in many Western capitals, Chinese consumers actually continue to support one-stop luxury shopping meccas known as the department store. If you're living in London or New York, a walk down any of the city's major shopping streets will tell you you're one very short story about the future of department stores. There really isn't one. In the former, stalwarts like John Lewis are shutting or downsizing stores at the Oxford Street flagship due to partly becoming office space, while household names like Deb and Bombs will soon disappear completely. In the latter, key players like Barney's and Lord & Taylor succumbed even before the events of the pandemic, while JCPenney didn't make it past the spring, and Neiman Marcus vacated premises only 16 months after it opened its first Manhattan location in Hudson Yards. If you're living in Beijing, however, it is a completely different story. A new report shows that Chinese consumers maintain a high amount of interest in typology. In fact, it reveals that a shift toward more domestic luxury consumption due to the pandemic has really upped the sector, with leading locations like Beijing generating 17.7 billion yuan in sales last year, while Shanghai's Plaza 66 saw a 60% year-over-year increase in revenue. And here are some key takeaways from what's going on with department stores throughout China. The first, there were around 37 major transformation and upgrading projects across China's department store industry, equating to some 4 million square feet, a figure close to double that was seen in 2018. And they point to examples such as the 118-year-old Beijing Dong'an Market, which will reopen in the autumn as a fashion-themed district with more curated pieces and more high-end experiential shopping. Also, experience has taken precedence, right? Indeed, that focus on increasing the experiential quota is universal, with 45.8% of surveyed department store operators reporting that they have added more such elements in their properties compared to just a year ago. Key future additions that operators would like to add include increased F&D facilities and more space for art and cultural events, while greater provision are made for spaces for children. Notably, experiential retail spaces remain a sort of untapped opportunity in almost half of their respondents, revealing that this accounted for less than 10% of their shop's floor space. Only 7% of operators offer more than 30% of their footprint to experience-based shopping elements. And finally, technology adds real value, right? A significant area of capital outlay for operators needing to wire much of their value to each visitor at a time of inconsistent footfall. Department stores have been increasingly leveraging new tech tools such as facial recognition, AI, robotics, virtual reality, augmented reality, both to improve their on-ground offer and to also beef up their CRM capabilities. This has paid in dividends, with 70% of those surveyed reporting that adoption of new technologies has directly led to both more foot traffic and conversions. Almost 80% plan to continue integrating new in-store technologies over the next year. And one case study singles out which deployed a combination of artificial intelligence, big data, and interactive displays. This has allowed it to create a technology-driven membership system that accesses customer shopping habits in order to personalize promotions, something they claim has led to a significant rise in in-store sales. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some Windowsware projects from our members. If you are a member, please make sure that your profile is filled out and that you are uploading your projects. So our first project comes from Tamaka Sakaguchi from the Swatch pop-up store in Harajuku in Tokyo, Japan. The pop-up store to celebrate their latest innovative product launch for the brand. Great job to the team at Swatch. Over in Montreal in Canada, Neil McGuire is working on the spring window takeoff. So spring is officially upon us, and Macaj is ready. Take off and breathe in the new freshness upon us. Their spring takeoff windows showcase their lightweight outerwear collections. Nicely done. Congratulations to Neil. Over at Michael Kors, Michael Kors is celebrating spring with their Regent Street Spring 2021 window displays. Nicely done. Congratulations to Michael Kors. And for our students, if you are a Windowswear member and you are a student, this one's for you. Our mentorship program is currently in progress. You can win a summer 2021 internship at Coach, Kate Spade, or Michael Kors. Windowswear offers all eligible students the opportunity to create and submit projects for paid internships and prizes from Coach, Kate Spade, and Michael Kors. For Michael Kors, they are celebrating their 40th year anniversary and want you to reimagine their store in a healthy world. Windowswear Mentorship Program, in partnership with Michael Kors, is inviting students to reimagine the Michael Kors store for their 40th anniversary. The objective of the contest is to take Michael's vision and combine it with the company's goal to drive positive environment and social change, keeping in mind the impact that the operations can have on the environment and the well-being of others. If you are a student, please check out windowswear.com/mentorship for all of the submission guidelines, the eligibility, all the information. The deadline is coming up quite soon, so if you were waiting or if you were working on that project, make sure that you submit as soon as possible because the deadline is coming up quite soon. As always, thank you so much for joining. My name is Jolene Mujica. We will see you next week.